Nothing wrong, Captain.
Alrighty, I'd like to talk briefly about a book which I took delivery of last Friday on June 17th. And I ordered it, pre-ordered it back in May 29th. Well, it has arrived last week, and from the moment I opened up the package, first thing I couldn't help but remark was how beautifully bound the book is. Well, first let's talk about the book itself. The book name is Evolution, written by the Mad Doctor. Well, I mean, he's a pretty sane doctor. The sane Dr. Adega Outlaw. And I don't like that my chroma key is disrupting the picture on the book. So just kill that for a minute. There we go.
There's nothing wrong, Captain.
Yeah, it's written by Dr. Adega Outlaw on Amazon. He also has a YouTube channel in which he will usually, I think, on Sunday read excerpts or chapters from his own books. So that's a good way to get a feel for the type of writing he does. Well, the synopsis on the back of Evolution goes as follows. For a creature of habit, the day started just like any other. Edric completed his morning routine and went to work, and then chaos hit. Now, on the run, a fugitive among his people, as events unfold and truths are uncovered, Edric will learn a lot more than he ever expected. But will he survive the knowledge?
There's nothing wrong, Captain.
Well, anyway, now let's talk about the book binding here. Haven't read it yet. I was a little concerned that I wouldn't get around to reading it, but I think I'll get around to it. Now, of course, sometimes the way Amazon ships things could leave a bit to be desired, because, you know, things get crushed in shipping, and maybe the hardcover will get a little uneven. Not too big of a deal. Not insurmountable. Humidity might get to the book, but I can solve that. Not gonna mess with it right now, but just the textbook quality of the book. Like, it's got this hardcover. It's big. Like, it's not thick, but it's big, so it's not heavy. But what jumped out at me, aside from the way it's bound together, was the print. I mean, look at that large print. You could read that from over here, probably. Like, from where you're looking at your screen, you could probably see the print. Heck, I could read the print on my small screen. But the reason I bring this up is because one of the reasons I don't read a lot of books recreationally, and I tend to favor audiobooks and Kindle books, or books that I can read on an e-ink display. Pretty much that relegates me to reading Kindle books and any book that I can get in a PDF format, because this device will happily support PDF documents. Now, e-ink displays are great. I have a glass screen protector on it to prevent scratching, but even, you know, without it, you get a matte finish. With it, you get a gloss finish. It's not really a big obstacle because I don't get any reflections on it when I'm holding it up like this. But, you know, e-ink displays look like paper. They're easy on the eyes. Problem is, they generally don't come larger than this, at least not from a mainstream company. You could get a device made by a company called Remarkable, or a product called Remarkable, but it doesn't support any of the apps that have DRM protected books. So I could read books that are in any of the generic formats on the Remarkable tablet, but you cannot read Kindle books on it, so that kind of knocks out a whole bunch of content. So that said, you get a Kindle book, and if there is a Kindle version of this book available on Amazon, as you can see here, it says Kindle $5.99, so real cheap. $26.50 for the book, $5.99 for the paperback. So I don't know anything about the paperback. Like, I don't know if it tells you the dimensions. 5 by 8 inches, and the hardcover is 8 by 11 inches. So basically that means it would be, it still seems like a pretty substantially sized book, the 5 by 8, but it is definitely not, you know, this large size here. So you got options, you know, but to me, I value having large print. I like the form factor. One of the things that keeps me away from reading books the normal way is that, you know, this isn't a great example because it's not terrible, but a lot of small paperbacks will pretty much amplify the complaint I'll have about this book. The spine of a book, the way that the letters curl into the spine, drives me insane. And so when I'm reading a book, I'm sitting here like, you know, trying to get the lighting right, and I'm like, there's a freaking shadow here. And so as I'm like going left to middle, it's like, I gotta do this. Then I'm like here, then I gotta struggle. And I mean, I can't imagine doing that.
There's nothing wrong, Captain.
Like 900 times, 1,000 times. That seems like an exercise in insanity. Now granted, you get towards the end of the book, things start to flatten out a little bit. So maybe you're only getting frustrated, or I'm only getting frustrated through 500 pages. Still, that sounds like an exercise in insanity. So it's very hard for me to read regular books. I just don't like the experience. Maybe if I got used to it at an earlier age, it'd be another story. But instead, I tend to favor ebooks and audiobooks, especially when you can get an ebook that automatically synchronizes with the audiobook. So what that means is I can read up to, say, page 100 on the ebook. Then I go to bed. I grab my phone, I open up the Audible app, and if I had bought the audiobook along with the ebook, it'll pick up from where I left off, and I can listen before bed. And then the next day, if I want to read it a bit more, it'll pick up from wherever I left off before the book stopped playing. Usually I set a sleep timer when listening to an audiobook before bed. So, you know, that's a workaround I have. Sometimes I do take Kindle books and I turn them into robotic voices so that I use a speech synthesizer to, you know, get it to be read. But generally, a book of this size,
there's nothing wrong, Captain.
I can live with this. I mean, it's got nice large print. It's on a nice large page, so I don't have to constantly hit the next page button on my little device.
There's nothing wrong, Captain.
And it's big, readable print. So this is awesome.
There's nothing wrong, Captain.
And I look forward to reading it.
There's
like
nothing wrong,
that,
Captain.
you know, it's just big and readable, and that the text does not curl into the spine. So it's like not at all frustrating to read. Like there's little curling here, but I can deal with that. I can see what I'm looking at. Like I can look at it from an oblique angle, no problem. So yeah, I'm a happy camper, and I look forward to reading this book, and I intend on either checking in maybe like 4 times during the reading of this book so that I don't have to struggle to remember key details at the end.
There's nothing wrong, Captain.
And then I can always combine those separate little reviews into one big review, and then I don't have to go through as much effort. But that being besides the point, the book is available on Amazon, written by Adega Outlaw, and this man also has a YouTube channel. I will provide links on the bottom. This is not a paid promotion. I am doing this video by my own volition because I just wanted to remark at how beautifully bound that book is. If I didn't think, well, like what I was holding in my hand, I wouldn't even bother, at least until I read the story to see if I enjoyed it. But with that, I'll leave you with that. Yeah, you know, so thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe, even if you didn't like my video, because I guess you could dislike the video. That would be good for engagement. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and end transmission.